Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life and the crazy life that is cryptocurrency. What's good, guys? Hope you guys are having an awesome morning and even have an even more outstanding rest of your day. I wanted to hop on here real quick and do a quick video about something that I think a lot of people maybe perhaps are sleeping on, and that is the Xspring and Coinbase-backed entity that is Securitze. I think that a lot of people maybe we're not really grasping the whole thing with Securitze, and I may be off, but I don't think that I am. So, Securitze, like a lot of people thought, Xspring backed it, Coinbase backed it as well, that they were dealing with security token offerings, STOs, but that was all. That was it. But it's really more than that. It didn't get covered that much, but they actually, they were part of an IBM accelerator program, and Securitze, people from Securitze talked about that they were really looking into and focusing on debt issuance, corporate debt, right? And so, if you guys have been following the Nomad Investor, DNI, if you've been following him, he talked about the three different kind of debts that the powers that be, whether it be the IMF or mainstream media, would begin talking about and continue talking about in reference to what does the IMF need to do to come in and save the whole wide world, and the whole idea or concept that XRP would be used in some way, shape, form, or fashion in terms of the global reserve currency. But he talked about corporate debt. He talked about individual debt, things like student loans and stuff like that. And of course, the global debt, which is, part of the global economic crisis. And I just think that it's interesting that two companies, Securitze and Kava Labs via Cosmos, are in that debt game, right? So Kava Labs through Cosmos will be into it via the collateral debt, CDPs, collateralized debt positions. But Securitze is looking into the corporate debt issuance, right? And there's three debts, and XRP will be covering the other one, and that is the central, right, the global debt, so the central bank debt. So you got XRP, we know liquidity is going to be an issue, so they're tackling debt from the global standpoint. You got Kava Labs and Cosmos taking care of the collateralized debt positions that you and I can participate in, where we stake our digital asset XRP and are able to take collateralized debt positions with that. And then you got Securitze doing the corporate debt issuance. So really look into Securitze. If you got some home time to do some homework, look into something called OTCXN, and OG trading. And OG is OGG trading, because I believe that OTCXN bought OG trading. If you look into those three, Securitze, OTCXN, and OG trading, and do your homework on that, I think it's very, very interesting that Securitze went into debt issuance, and that is something that they were looking into, corporate debt issuance. So in other words, getting into the debt game. We all know that that's always going to be a thing. That debt game is always going to be there, and the fact that Securitze, which again is backed by Xspring, is into that game, I think is very, very, very interesting. If you do more homework into OTCXN, you'll see that they're into a lot of different things, and I just think that people are sleeping on that volume and utility that Securitze is going to bring. And I think that is my main thing. The utility, the use case that Securitze and Kava Labs are going to bring to the ILP is going to be massive. And I believe since Xspring had backed Securitze, that it's going to be on the XRPL. That's my understanding. So yeah, definitely look into that. I think it's bigger than what a lot of people think. Obviously, there's obviously the great news that's going on as well with India, and 100 banks is what I'm reading and hearing. And when I listened to Alice Cobb the other day, that is massive for India. 100 banks, especially when India was, going on with this major regulation deal and how hard it, quote unquote, was going to be on the digital asset space, and for Ripple to get in there and get 100 banks on Xcurrent, which we all know can flip a switch type deal to XRapid. So it's not like, oh, they're not using XRP. No. Xcurrent 4.0. It's probably a flip of a switch. It's touch this button and touch that button, and then there you are. You're on XRapid, right? Type of deal. So it's not some difficulty to get to utilizing XRapid and XRP, therefore XRP. So that is massive in all kinds of ways. Use case for that is massive in all kinds of ways, like crazy. And I'm surprised. I've been on Telegrams, and I'm seeing some of the XRP people in the community kind of losing a little bit of faith, and again getting disheartened, and losing faith, right? And here's what I'll say to that. Number one is we all have to learn, right? You have to learn to discipline your disappointments, right? DYD. Discipline your disappointments. And so that's one thing that is massive. We all have to learn how to do that, right? All have to learn how to do that. And here's the thing that I will tell you, right? Although we're blessed to be in a position where we can allow our money to work for us, that doesn't mean that it's get rich quick. It's not a get rich quick scheme when we're talking about being involved in the digital asset space. I get the whole ICO thing and how people leverage that, and how people got leveraged by uncool people who took advantage of that, took advantage of us in that space, in the ICO space. But it's still not a get rich quick. The digital asset space is not a get rich quick scheme when you're involved in projects that have real world use cases to them. So don't think, I saw this dude posted it on Twitter and in the Telegram, and Brad Kimes' Telegram, like F you, and you were wrong, and then they discovered that he's only been in the space for 3 months, right? At least via Twitter on the space. So like I said in my other videos, right, most people haven't even been in the space for 3 years. I mean, come on. When we're talking of millions of dollars, and you haven't been in, potentially millions of dollars, and you haven't been in the space for even 3 years, and you're, getting on Telegram groups and on Twitter, posting F you were wrong, like, whoa, like, come on, right? You gotta get that you have to pay a price, to become wealthy. There is a price to still be paid. It may not be a physical price where you're digging holes, or you're having to put in 60 and 70 hours a week of trading your time for dollars, but there's still a price. There's still a price to pay, and the price to pay here in the digital asset space is, number one, doing your own homework, doing your own due diligence like any smart investor does. And number two, you have to play the patience game, right? I was telling my friend this the other day. I said, he's in the digital asset space as well, and he was talking about, it's hard to look at his portfolio and whatever. I said, dude, every single morning and every single night, so when I wake up in the morning and before I go to bed at night, I look at my assets and the price on my assets in the digital asset space. He said, you do? And I said, yes, I do, 100%. He said, why? I said, because I have to learn. I have to get better. I want to get better. I do it all the time. I want to get better at strengthening my resolve. Strengthening my resolve. So I look at the price at 35, 36, 37, 38%, or 1 cent for the other digital asset that I own every single day to strengthen my resolve. To strengthen my resolve so that I can increase daily my patience. Right? You got to exercise patience in this space. And to get better at doing it, for me, I do it every day. I exercise that every single day because I know my patience is increasing. It's getting better. As Brad Kimes likes to say, resetting the patience meter. Right? You got to increase your ability to remain patient in this space. And I do it daily because I know if I do it every single day, I'm getting better. When you do it every day, your patience strength doesn't just add up. It multiplies. It compounds. You get that? It compounds. Doesn't add up. It's not addition. It compounds. By doing it every single day, by disciplining your disappointments every single day. You got to increase. You have to strengthen your resolve. That's the price that we pay in the digital asset space. That's the price that we pay. Like this thing is like mirror. Forgive me, my mirrors. Windows are dirty. Right? That's the price that we pay as investors. You got to get that. That is the game. That is the game. That's why the powers that be are doing what they're doing with in the digital asset space, because they know that most people can't play the long game because they haven't learned to strengthen their resolve and to practice patience every single day. To practice patience every single day. And if you do that every single day, again, it doesn't add up. It multiplies. And in fact, it compounds. And that's what you want. You want that because that element of your life, when you do that and you learn to practice patience every single day and you strengthen what else I want to say? What do I want to call that? That attribute that you develop, it goes from finances and it goes from the digital asset space to finances. Let's say it's whether it be saving to invest, whether it be what you do with your brokerage account if you have a brokerage account, right? So it travels. Your patience and that discipline required, it travels. So it'll travel from the digital asset space to other areas of finance. It will travel from the financial area to, let's say, for example, your health area, right? So working out and eating better. It'll travel from that area to, let's say, your relationship area. It travels. So that discipline that you put into place, the patience that you put into place every single day, it travels with you to different areas of your life. That's why I look at it that's why I look at the price every single day, at least twice a day. Because I know I must strengthen my resolve so that I can implement the discipline of patience and have that patience multiply every single day. And so at the end of 30 days, I increase my patience, the discipline even better. And at the end of 90 days, now it's even stronger. And at the end of 6 months, now that discipline of patience is even stronger. And after a year, it's even stronger. But the thing that you got to get is, it doesn't seem like a lot when you do it today. It doesn't seem like a lot when you do it today. It doesn't seem like a lot after you've done it for a week. Right? Doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up. It adds up every single day. And it multiplies every single day. It's like that little analogy of would you rather have $1 million or would you rather have a penny and double it every single day? It's that concept. Most people take the $1 million because they got the money right up front. They never had to practice any discipline. They got $1 million. But they don't realize that penny a day doubled every single day ends up being $10 million. That's the difference. That's the difference. And that's what we have to do here. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. If it doesn't, read, it's a great book to learn about that. It's called The Slight Edge. You want to grab that book. Check that book out by a guy named Jeff Olson. Very, 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 very good book. So, yeah. So anyway, guys, that is the deal there. I really do think there's some little hidden gem there with Securitze and OTCXN and odd trading. I still find it very interesting that DX.exchange on the same day that the banks that are associated with Ripple and known as Ripple Partners, the same day DX.exchange also went down for maintenance. Same day, the 7th or whatever that was, same day, went down for maintenance as well, and even commented, in fact, that they were expecting massive trading. And that's probably, they're expecting massive trading starting sometime in the 3rd and 4th week of July going forward. That's my belief. So anyway, guys, if you're interested in that, they'll definitely check out Securitze, check out OTCXN, check out OG trading, and please just understand that this is the price that we pay here in the digital asset space. Is number one, doing our own due diligence, doing our own homework so that we can get better and be prepared for the next thing that comes, right? That's why we want to do our own homework and do our own due diligence. And the other price that we pay is learning to discipline our disappointments, strengthening our resolve, and practicing patience. Practicing patience every single day. So guys, listen, never ever forget, old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. Never ever forget that. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, guys. The battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.